and realize nothing is on. So switch to dart stroke from bottom, realize it's not on. So I stood back up pretending nothing happened. Hello guys, I'm on my way to training BJJ, and I will actually have a special class at the academy called Toyatt Jiujitsu in Tokyo in Japan. And we are driving there. Hi Motegi-san. As you guys know, he's been a drilling partner for our videos. And until we get there, I want to talk about what training BJJ in Japan is like, especially in Tokyo, because that's where I was born and that's where I grew up. And because you see a lot of BJJ YouTubers, but most of them are not from Japan talking about BJJ in Japan in English. So I thought that would be a good opportunity for me to talk about it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is when I tell people that I do jiu-jitsu, the most frequently asked question is, do you train Japanese jiu-jitsu, right? But as you guys know, the origin of Brazilian jiu-jitsu is Kodokan Judo. In Kodokan Judo, the origin of that is Japanese jiu-jitsu, right? But at the same time, I've actually never seen any Japanese jiu-jitsu before. I don't know, I think there is almost no Japanese jiu-jitsu academy. I've never seen any like Japanese jiu-jitsu before. And I do train Brazilian jiu-jitsu. If there is one, if I find one, I'd love to learn. Seems like in the US there are more Japanese jiu-jitsu academies. That kind of surprises me. But anyways, and also even like Brazilian jiu-jitsu academies, we don't have like a lot of those. Like if you come to Tokyo, I'd say each major station, like big station, has at least one BJJ academy. So I don't think you'll have any problem training there if you visit here to train. But I feel like in general, Japanese people are not interested in fighting, like doing combat sports, especially as people in other countries. I don't know if I generalize it. And I was thinking why it's the case. And first of all, of course, Japan is super safe and you don't really have to be able to fight. If you are a girl who doesn't do any combat sports and you can just walk in the city at night, it's not really the case for a lot of countries. But in Japan, it's that safe. So you don't really have to be able to fight. And of course, it's better to be able to fight, but it's not really super useful thing to have in Japan. And also the second thing that I thought about is that being strong, being tough, or being muscular, like that is really not like an attractive trait in Japan. I mean, some people find it attractive, but I'm sure some places, if you are strong, being able to fight, that's like instant like attractive trait, right? But in Japan, if I talk about guys, it might sound a little sexist, but if I generalize it, people with a little like less manly looking, a little like laid back, people who are like that tend to become more popular. So, a lot of time, not everyone, but people feel like people want to become tough, people want to get into fitness, train like lifting, training combat sports, so that they can become popular among girls. But it's really not the case in Japan. And one of my good friends, he's a jiu-jitsu purple belt and he's a 5th degree black belt in judo, and he teaches judo at school, at high school. And he told me that recently, so in Japan, we have a thing, it's called club. After school, you have to join one of those like clubs, and then each club has got a theme, right? Like judo, wrestling, like basketball, baseball, like science, like whatever that is, you have to pick one of those clubs. They almost have to do it after they finish school. And he teaches judo club at high school, but he told me that nowadays more girls start joining those judo clubs. And he said like in this year there was no male student who was interested in learning judo. So anyways, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I mean, it definitely has been growing a lot, but it's really not a lot. But I mean, if you come to Tokyo and if you speak English, because most of BJJ academies they probably don't teach classes in English, but some of them do. But most of people in Tokyo, they can understand most of English, so I don't think you'll have any problem if you want to visit Japan training jiu-jitsu as an English speaker. And the class structure is a little different. from where I used to live in Seattle, Seattle in US. Yeah, as you guys know, people in Japan, they work hard. They work hard until like 8 p.m., 10 p.m., that's normal. People work from like 9 a.m. to freaking like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., right? So in Japan, Jiu-Jitsu academies, even if they start a regular class for adult people at 6 p.m., no one is gonna be able to join it. So usually classes for adults, they start around like 8:30. Around some academies start classes at 9 p.m. and usually they have kids class before that. They have like kids classes around like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. and so on. Recently, morning classes are becoming popular too. Some academies provide classes at 6 a.m. so that, we call them like salarymen, right? Like people who work for a company in Japan, we call them like salarymen. All the salarymen can make it to class around like 6 a.m. and they can train until 8 a.m. and then they can go to work. I think it's the same as other countries, and at least in the US. They usually have 60 to 90 minutes drill, and after that they have sparring sessions. And if you want to visit Japan, usually the visitor fee is around 2,000 to 3,000 yen, so which is around like $20 to $30 per time. Or they usually have like 1 week course, like 1 month course too. So I don't know, it's probably around like $100 for a week or something. I don't know. It's kind of like that. And also, when it comes to starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Japan, I kind of see that's a little hard to start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Japan. I've never opened my own school before, so I'm just talking about it from what I observed and what I'm assuming, right? Starting Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Japan is not that easy, I think, because as I said, not a lot of people are interested in combat sports, fighting in general, right? Like I'd say like actually people around like 40s to 60s, because that's the generation they are watching all the Pride, K1, their prime, right? So I think that is the age that you can only target when they are interested in fighting. But usually people not like really interested in fighting so much, so I don't think it's gonna be easy. But one thing that makes starting BJJ Academy in Japan easier is that we always have like gymnasiums and where you can spend around like $5 to $10 to rent a mat space for an hour or 2 hours, so that you can do it regularly, like every Tuesday, like 8 p.m. Like I'm just gonna rent the mat space for 2 hours, and you can gather people there, and you can probably get like enough members so that you can bring them to the new location and start a BJJ Academy. I think that's one of the low risk ways of starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies in Japan. I think that's what most of people do. I'm assuming the owner of the academy, Toyatt Jiujitsu, I think he started doing like that too. So yeah, that's what that is. But definitely it's been growing a little by little. It's not like as rapidly as in US. I was living in Seattle. I started living there like 7-8 years ago, and at that time there was no like a lot of BJJ academies. There was not. But when I left there, which was 3 years ago, so in that 5 years, the BJJ community had grown a lot, and there are like a lot of BJJ academies when I left there. But the growth in Japan is not as rapid as in the US, I'd say in Seattle, but definitely it's been growing. Okay, so we are getting close to Toyatt Jiujitsu now, so I'm gonna put the camera off now, but it's gonna be a special class, and I asked them, hey, what techniques do you want me to teach? And they say they want me to teach a spider guard, so I'm gonna go over all the basics of spider guard and do some maybe sweeps, submissions from there, and after that it's gonna be a sparring session. So check it out. This is Toyatt Jiujitsu. So most of people here are beginners. They are actually doing a beginner class right now. And then that's the Japanese thing, we say arigatou gozaimashita means, thank you. They drop their head on the mats. They say thank you. That's a Japanese way of expressing the appreciation. What's cool about Japan is we have all the like vending machine usually in front of the academy or inside the academy. Some academies have vending machines inside the academy, so that after training you can buy whatever thing that you want to drink. So today we had around 10 people on the mats, and they said they've been training around less than 2 years, so they are mostly white belts and blue belts. And at this academy they usually have a curriculum, and this week was a Spider Girl week, so I thought that would be a good opportunity for me to go over all the basics on like how to get the Spider Girl, the basic sweep, basic triangle from here. So we went over all super basic stuff today. ここからですね、僕の左足を伸ばします。こうやって伸ばす。両足伸びてる状態ですね。そしたら僕の右足、こっちにかかってる足をパタッと下に落としますね。ここから両足伸ばして足を落とす。And I was surprised, although they were white belts or blue belts, they were doing super well for the drills. I just showed the techniques like twice or 3 times, but they did super well on that. And here is me explaining about you gotta keep the spider guard until the last moment you come up, because if you let go, the bottom person can try to come up on top too. So you gotta keep it until the last moment, and eventually you gotta extend both arms to come up on top to take a mount punch. And they are drilling spider guard to triangle. I always think of spider guard as a transition guard. It's not a guard that you wanna hang out in. Let's say if you have lasso guard, you can kind of take a rest, right? You can just stay here not doing anything. But for spider guard, if you get a spider guard, as soon as you get a spider guard, you usually want to go for a sweep, triangle, submissions, and so on, because if you don't, it's very easy for the top person to do a hand fight against spider guard as opposed to other like close guard, lasso guard, half guard. So here is the sparring session. What I like about training other academies is that you can always see the tendency of the game for each academy. You go to one academy and everyone plays berimbolo. You go to one academy and everyone is judo based, the professor is judo based, and people never pull. Or you might be able to get a sweep or a guard pass, but people value defense a lot, so you can never finish a submission from there. So this academy, people have a really solid basic. So people's defense, hand fight, shrimping out, having a strong base was really good. That's what I got impressed by. And this academy, there are a lot of older BJJ practitioners, and also most of people are beginners. So here's me playing lasso guard, but he's got a super strong base. So I had to switch to omoplata to get a sweep. Most of the academies nowadays, it's December 2021. I'd say 70% of BJJ academies you still have to wear a mask, but some academies you don't have to wear a mask. So here's me trying to go for a dart choke and realize nothing is on. So switch it to dart choke from bottom, realize it's not on. So I stood back up pretending nothing happened. Yeah, so when the COVID was really bad in Japan, because of the constitution, the government couldn't announce a lockdown. I don't know, I'm not really familiar with it, tell me if it's wrong. But we had a thing called state of emergency instead. So the government was kindly asking gym owners to close the academy. And most of the academies were closed. So, it was really hard for BJJ academy owners, but we had a lot of subsidiaries. I think that was super helpful. And this is the sparring session with one of the owners. She is the wife of Tokuda-san, the guy who is the main instructor of this academy. And she's small but very technical. She's got a lot of great hand fight and also smooth bottom game. She likes to do this grabbing the leg, trying to come up on top. Very basics, but super solid game. So that's it for the training session. If you come to Japan or if you live in Japan, make sure to check out the place. It's called Toyatt Jiujitsu. So let me introduce the owners of this academy. They are the owners of this Toyatt Jiujitsu. They moved to this location in July, so it's a brand new academy. And he's Tokuda-san. She's Tokuda-san's wife. And ありがとうございました今日は。おす。Thank you for watching the video. If you're a practitioner 40 plus, please join our Facebook group where any practitioners 40 plus can come together and help each other. I put the link below, so check it out. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Today is the youngest you'll ever be. Awesome.